Hey everyone, Jeremy here with a look at Age of Wushu's user interface. Now, I've seen around the internet that people complain about the user interface in Age of Wushu a lot. They talk about how it's just an utterly terrible user interface, and lots of comments on other sites and forums about how they can't wait for them to fix it. I don't see anything inherently broken with it. I mean, it's somewhat glitchy, but I'm gonna show you how it's pretty much all there, and it has a lot of information. I want this to be concise, so let's go ahead and get started. A lot of stuff you'll recognize. The HP bar in the top left here. There's a shield symbol to the left of your character portrait. This is where you turn PK mode on and off. If I hit Jianghu mode, you can see my character start to glow red, and the icon next to my character portrait turned into a sword. And also, I can turn that back to peace. But also, if you open that up, you can have certain protections on. Especially when you're in a big war and there's like people everywhere, like in groups, and there's area of effect spells going off everywhere. You can protect guildies and team members and people from your school and friends that you'd want to. That's really helpful. You can check on your meridians down here. Click on this little button here. It just checks your status of your meridians. This one I hardly ever use. It's just to check your overall experience. Up above the HP bar, you have your mail. Then you have this VIP status. That's just information on what VIPs get. Then you have your little Buddha icon, I call it, where you check your skills. I go over all this in the character progression tutorial I did. Next to that's the daily experience. This is sort of a guide to maximize your experience gain, but it's sort of like your everything, your daily living stuff. It actually doesn't mention the XP you get from spy missions or from doing daily escorts. This is sort of like a different kind of progress tracker to kind of just help you get all of your XP from daily living. Next to that is your PK status. It's not a button you can activate. In the top right of your UI is your map. And of course, you have your big map. You can hit either M or click on that map. Now, in this map, you can actually do a lot. On the top bar, if you look, you can designate XY coordinates, and you're always given the coordinates. You can see in the top left on the actual map, as I move my mouse around, it's showing the yellow numbers here change. So a person can give you the coordinates they want you to go to. You can type them in, and then hit the search button, and then it will go there, and then it shows you this blinky icon right here, and then that way you can go right there. You can also, in two different ways, you can add markers to your map. You can press this plus button here, and it immediately opens up this. So you can designate the XY coordinates. Then, like, you know, it's just helpful. If your friend says, meet me here, then you designate the coordinates, then hit the plus bar, and then you can click one of the icons, let's say your friend, and then you could say, my friend is here, you know, or just type, and then hit confirm, and you see the icon appeared. So you can also do this on the bottom right where it says map label, and what you can do here is keep track of multiple, and through the map label button you'll press the plus, and it will turn your icon into a little plus symbol, and then you can go ahead and pre-designate exactly where you want to go, and then it'll open up the define label button and then label where you clicked. Now on the very bottom of the map you have all the information to show all these icons that are all over everywhere. Your basic functions, merchants, you know, all this good stuff, collection materials, even mission icons and school guidance and everything. But what a lot of people don't realize is you can click on these buttons and further designate which icons you want to see or don't want to see. So this is really helpful, and it offers a lot of customization. It's really kind of nice. So you can do all that in the map. On the right here, it shows your tasks. So you're always kind of keeping track of your quests that you're on, but you can also search for NPCs, and this is kind of helpful. You can click on the area, so I clicked on Suzhou City, whatever, and you can click on merchants, and they give you a name for all the merchants, and then if you click on them, it will center the map on those people. It doesn't really show your little icon thing, so it's not. It would be kind of better if it actually like had that little arrow, blinking arrow to show you exactly where it was. But you can get an idea. You can click through these, and then there's stagecoach as well, and there's even commoners. So you can find like regular NPCs, especially so if you're doing maybe a gossip quest or something. But there's lots of commoner NPCs, so that's kind of a big. I'd be looking through a lot. You can search, but the search functions in this game have to be like painfully exact, and exact spelling and capitalization and everything. But to move on past the map, more on the mini-map, you have your bulletin, which really never tells you anything. You can change your targets that actually appear on the mini-map. You can show any and all players on the mini-map, and same with enemies. Basically mobs, and then your team and group, and then you have your information box. This basically is what periodically appears saying so-and-so's been arrested and been kidnapped. Well, this keeps track of all that, and you can keep it open if you want. I go over these helpful help guides in my casual quick start guide, so check that out for details on those. But the big book with the question mark here and the little book with the question mark here has valuable information. Also, before I forget, go back to the map. There's question marks on a lot of windows. Even the map has a question mark, which opens up, but basically it's opening up this same window here that the little tiny question, the tiny book with the question mark on it opens. It's the same window. It's called your Zhanggu record. So if you look here, you'll see it. It just opens up to different locations. Also, you have a GM button here, but I'm not sure if they're accepting complaints and stuff that way anymore. Of course, you can zoom in, zoom out. This little colored dot here shows your frame rate and your lag. Questionnaire, don't click that. That just goes to the website. The yellow snail icon here, that goes to the website as well. Of course, you have your tracker icon. You can move some of these things around. That you can click on it to open and close your quest log, essentially. And you can even move this around. You just have to click next to one of the tabs, or in the very corner of the window, and you can click and drag it around. Excuse me. You can also have your friends list here. Usually people always ask, how do I add friends? Well, if you look right below, there's a search button, and that's how you do it. And then you just add a person's name, but again, you have to spell it exactly, and they have to be online. That's another big thing. The person has to be online, or it will just tell you there's no person by that name, or they're offline. And then that's how you can add them to friends lists. And if you want to bump them up to close friends, you can right click their name and upgrade to close friends. So you can right click the names to get further information. Down in the bottom right of the user interface is a lot of buttons. You have your menu, system operations, and you should explore all this because there's actually a lot of customization. You can change a ton of interface options here. Overhead info, there's tons of ways you can customize overhead info. You can actually completely change how your movement keys and mouse work in the game between traditional 3D mode and AOW special mode. You can mess with chat, the mouse, the camera, all kinds of stuff, to explore there. But you also have things like your skill records, school information, guild information, trade center, missions. So the skill record, I never use it. It basically keeps track of when you learned a skill. School, or the J button. This is helpful information, especially people are always asking, how do I find out what my school rules are? This is how you find out. You go to school regulations, and you can also find out school positions and other information. There's your guild interface, or the H key. I go over that a little bit in other videos too. Here's V, or the trade interface, and I go over all this in my trade market beginner guide. If you hit N for as in no, or click the swords here, it brings up your missions, and this has a ton of information too, which I go over in detail depending on what I was showing you. Like in my kidnapping video, I go kind of in detail about how to use this kidnap area here, information area, and I'll I go into detail in those videos, so just look up those videos if you'd like to know. I'm not going to go into too many specifics. This video is already getting kind of long. There's a cash shop. You can click Y for the cash shop if you want. And a handy thing is, if you're out and about, because this is an open PvP world, you can click on a character's name, and you can even click on an NPC's name, but it will show you the same information. Right next to their name will be a little colored dot, and if you hover over it, it will show you a color indicator of their strength compared to your strength. So if this dot was red, it probably means they could whip your butt. For instance, this guy here, he's got a red one, so he's probably pretty tough. You might be able to take him because he's an NPC. Other players might be more skilled and whip your butt. But that's a really handy way of checking instantly, just at a glance, whether someone's stronger than you or not, or more of a fair match. You also have your skills, or K button, and I go over all that too, and character progression and all that. You can hit L, and that brings up your task window, or your quest log, and this is what designates what's in your task window here. And this gives you a little bit of information on storyline and recommended and so on. You can explore that. That's helpful. Here you can form a team, your team window. Now a lot of times I click on people and usually you can do things like apply to create a team, and then I believe you'll be the leader, and they'll instantly join your team if they agree. So this is just another way to go about it. You can even right-click your own character portrait and hit create team, and basically you've created a team of only you, and you're the leader. You can tell you're the leader by the little flag that appeared to the top left of my character portrait. And then from this window you can click on invite to join and so on. There's different ways. I think most people probably just right-click other people's names and ask them to join. You can also click U. U will open up your identity or achievement windows. This is where you can check all of your achievements for your school or for your life skills. And you can click around and find out all that. Your character bar or window has a little bit of information. It has further tabs here. You have your reputation window, your world reputation, your school discipline, which this shows you. I just got done showing you what window you check your school rules at, and it will tell you how many bad points you get for breaking which rules. You have your titles you can choose. Just make sure to check all this stuff and look at it. Your teleport window, this is where you set teleports. A lot of people usually ask how to set teleports. I've already set some of them, but usually you get 2 free ones. You get one to your school and one to your starting city, and they're separated into categories. You can read here, this says school teleport points, and then it's separated to Jianghu. Then there's a third way down here called guild teleport points. So you have different categories, and within those categories you have set teleport points. Now you always get the one school and one to the starting city, but I bought these others, and they look, if you look down below on my guild teleport points, you can see they're blank. You can click on them and it says I did not set this, but I can click on it and I could buy it. Let's say I already bought it. You know, you click on it, it will say extend. You click on it, it will tell you how much you have to pay, and it could be unbound silver, so you want to be careful. And then you unlock it, like I have unlocked this one. Then you hit the plus button, and what it does is it looks like it changes the window. Don't get confused. All it did was change tabs. Up at the top here, you have return, current scene. So it just switched from return, and when I press plus, it switched over to current scene. Because you can't set a teleport point at every exact location that you're standing. Every zone or scene has a set amount of specific teleport points that you can choose from. So I could choose from one of these different places, and I could set that, and then I could just hit add, and then it would add it right here, and then it would appear right here on my return tab. And I think that's about it. If I forgot anything, you guys can let me know or ask your questions. I have tons of other videos. Please check them out. I have beginner guides on spying, escorting, kidnapping, the trade interface, and so on and so forth. And I'm always coming out with new videos. I'm trying to put them out more often because I haven't been putting them out very fast, but I am trying. In the meantime, please comment, leave your questions or comments. If you think I forgot anything, whatever, just leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to read all of the description that I put. Click that show more button, because I always put long descriptions in my videos. And I look forward to your comments, and I will see you next video.